Okay, so it's always funny because I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, so whenever I have to, like, train, I'm like, "Okay, set myself up so I don't get distracted." But I'm excited to train you guys tonight. We're gonna be talking about knowing your averages, AKA working full circle in your business, and the power of the power stars, okay? So let me just say there's gonna be numbers involved with this. You might wanna get a notebook, you might wanna get a pen, and all of those things. Because I think this topic is great for me to train on personally. I think that my consultants especially are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, we've heard this before from Sabra." Like this might not be anything necessarily new for my girls, but it may be a good refresher and a good reminder. Um, because I talk about this all the time of understanding your averages and why that's important and all of that. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. So thank you, Stacy. I did it for you. Because I knew you'd be looking so fancy. But I do wanna talk about, knowing your averages, okay? So that's what we're gonna talk about first is understanding your averages when it comes to booking, when it comes to selling, when it comes to recruiting, okay? So let me ask you guys this, what do I mean by knowing and understanding your averages? What do you think that means? Maybe if you're more seasoned, you already know your averages when it comes to booking, when it comes to selling, when it comes to recruiting. Um, so hi, Candy. So what I will say is understanding and knowing your averages is going to give you more control when it comes to working your Mary Kay business. Who here are my fellow control freaks? I, I'm definitely one of them. Okay. If you know anything about me, I love to control things, and that's me and God. We do tug of war a lot. He loves me anyway. But my fellow control freaks that love to feel like they are in control of their work, of family things, of your schedule, of your finances, of all the things, right? You want that control. So let me tell you something, friends. Your Mary Kay business is a place where you, to be totally honest, have a lot of control. Okay. I'm not saying you have control over what other people say to you or how they react to you or if they book or if they purchase or whatever. But what I am telling you is that you have a lot of control over your business when you understand and know your averages. Okay. So, with that being said, what are your averages? What does that mean? Why is this important? So, knowing your averages when it comes to, okay, how many booking attempts do I need to do in order to book someone? Like, can I expect to send out one message and that person books with me and now I've got a new booking? Probably not, friend. Probably not. Do I need to send out 10, 15, 20? What does that number look like? Okay. Same thing with selling products. Like if I'm in front of 10 faces, how much retail product am I expecting to sell? And when it comes to recruiting, how many people do I need to share the opportunity with in order to add a team member, in order to bronze medal, in order to silver medal, in order to gold medal? So understanding your averages is a powerful tool that allows you to have more control over your business and put you in the driver's seat. Okay. Does anyone already know what their booking average is? Does anyone already know what their face average is for sales? Does anyone know the recruiting average? If you don't, it's okay. I hope that this empowers you to go and look at that stuff. I'm also going to share with you guys later because I'm not going to share with you that now, share this with you now because you won't pay attention to me. But I love to track things. This is definitely one of my strengths, I feel like, not trying to put me on a pedestal or say that I'm anything. I'm just saying I think it's a strength of mine being a good tracker. And so I just track everything. I track how many faces I'm seeing, how much that person bought from me, how many referrals did that person give me, how many recruits did I get. So I think that that's something that I'm really good at. So I'm going to share with you guys some little tracking techniques that I use, and you can maybe adopt it and add it to your daily practice with your business. Okay, so knowing your averages gives you that control that we talked about. So this is great news for my control freaks out there like myself. So, understanding your booking averages, your face averages, your recruiting averages. Okay. So, when you understand and know what your averages are, that allows you to trust in this business a little bit more, doesn't it? Because you understand that Mary Kay is not magical, it's mathematical. Have you guys ever heard that before? Stacy's nodding. I know she's heard it. So in Mary Kay, it's not it we kind of joke around and say it's Mary Kay magic. It's really no magic at all. It's simply the fact that we know the numbers and the numbers don't lie. Okay? So if I have a goal to do a power start in the month of December, I'm just giving you all example. If I have a goal to do a power start in the month of December, a power start is 30 faces in 30 days. So if I have a goal to see 30 faces this month and I only send out 5 booking attempt scripts, do you think that I'm going to hit my 30? No. Okay. So we're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk about the numbers and I'm going to give you guys examples and stats to kind of work with. But as you guys start to flex your tracking muscle, you are going to create your own stats because your stats might be a little bit different. You may be a better booker than I am. You might be able to, only reach out to 5 people and secure a booking, whereas I have to reach out to 10 people to secure a booking. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to understand that. Okay. So knowing your averages is important. And so that's why we want to understand and know what those averages are. Okay. Second point I want to talk to you guys about is working full circle. So what is working full circle in Mary Kay? What does that mean? Have you guys heard this term before? Have you guys ever heard that? Yeah? Okay. So working full circle means working your business in all pockets. So it doesn't mean that I'm just selling products on my Facebook group and never seeing a face and never sharing the opportunity. Okay. Yes, that's a form and a way to move product and to get in front of customers and to get them on different products, right? But that's not the end all be all. So, what is working full circle? Book, sell, share, recruit, and redo it all over again. Okay. So, book, sell, share, recruit, do it all over again. That is working full circle. Now, if you are missing a piece from that beautiful circle from the pie, you're missing a piece of that, your circle is not going to progress forward. So think about a wheel, right? It's it's round, okay? So if you have a nail or something in that wheel, that tire that is not going to allow you to progress forward, you're going to stay in the same place. You're not going to get the results that you're looking for. You're not going to move forward. You're not going to progress. Okay. So I want you to think of that with your Mary Kay business. This is important that I'm booking people for faces, right? That I am, when I'm at the appointment with them, that I'm selling the product to them by using my set sheets at the end. Okay. I'm also sharing the Mary Kay opportunity with them at the end. Okay. Regardless on if I think they're interested or not, they're hearing the Mary Kay opportunity from me. Okay. Because that's part of my job. And you can tell them that. You can tell them, like, this is part of my job. This is what I do. Okay. And then we are going to recruit people because we're sharing the opportunity and we're going to repeat this all over again. Okay. So that is working full circle. So this is a great point for you to kind of reflect on your own business and be like, okay, giving yourself kind of a grade report of like, all right, so she talked about the different areas of working full circle. What would I grade myself on booking? Would I give myself an A, B, C, D, or F? Like when it comes to booking. When it comes to selling, what would I give myself? When it comes to sharing, what would I grade myself, etc. Okay, so this might be a good moment for you to reflect on your own business and see, okay, where do I have a gap in my business? Because chances are, if you are sitting in a place right now that you're not like you want to be further, you want to do more, you want to achieve more, chances are there might be a little gap in your system. There might be a little gap in the wheel that's kind of we need to bridge it. Okay, so, working full circle, why is that important? Well, if you're not working full circle, you're not taking advantage of everything that the Mary Kay opportunity has in store for you. Truly. You guys have heard the analogy. I know my girls, I share this with them when we talk about team building, especially because a lot of times people view team building as optional. I personally don't view team building as optional. I believe that it is part of the business plan. It's what makes this business plan great. And so I talk about being in a rowboat and you have 2 oars, right? So one oar is your selling oar, right? So if you're selling and you're only selling the product, guess what? You're just going to go in a nice little circle because you're only rowing with one arm. Now, if you're just team building in this business, that's the other arm. And so guess what? If you're only rowing with that one arm, you're going to go in a circle the opposite direction. But if you are doing both simultaneously, selling the product, sharing the opportunity, working full circle, guess what? You're going to move forward. You're going to progress. You're going to take advantage of everything this business has to offer for you. So that is why working your business full circle is so powerful and so impactful. So if you are wanting more money, if you are wanting more customers, if you are wanting more team members, if you are wanting to level up, if you want to be a star, if you want to be a sales director, red jacket, earn a car, whatever that is for you, whatever that dream is, then it's going to require working full circle. And so you taking the time to just reflect and be like, okay, Sabra talked about this, like what's that gap for me? What is that for me? Like, where am I kind of like shying away from? Where have I been unwilling to go? And it's okay. It's okay if you've like kind of shied away from something. The good news is you're looking at it now and you're having awareness now to be like, okay, so moving forward, we're not going to do that. We're going to make sure that we do hit all of the points, because if I have this person in front of me and I have her undivided attention for an hour, I want to make it worth my while and I want to make it worth her while. Because the truth is, y'all, you never know what that person is praying for that's sitting across from you. And whenever we don't work our business full circle, that's actually us being selfish. I said it. I said it. And listen, there have been seasons where I have not been the good little Mary Kay consultant I needed to be. So I can speak on this wholeheartedly, that my business reflects when I work my business full circle versus when I don't. Okay? So whenever you put yourself in the equation and you make it about you, you are being selfish and you are robbing someone the chance, the opportunity to get on good quality products because you're afraid to sell them, or you're robbing them the opportunity of being a Mary Kay consultant and gaining another stream of income or gaining a community because you were selfish and afraid of what she might think if you talk to her about the opportunity. So I say that with so much love. And I say that from a place of experience because I've been there. I have been there. And yes, this business is such a gift, from the products, from the business plan, from the community, from all aspects. And if you've been in Mary Kay for any period of time at all, y'all know how amazing this is. So we don't want to rob anyone of that. We want to be good stewards of the things that God has given us, the people God has given us at that appointment, those team members that He has appointed to us, because they are in our lives for a reason. Okay. So I want you to think about that. So point number 3 I want to talk to y'all about is the power start. So do you guys see my cutie little power start pin? So cute. So drop me a little heart in the chat if you took on Jamie's power start challenge and you earned your own power start pin. I know there were several of us that did. So yay, congrats, ladies. Now, that's not to say that if you didn't do a power start when she initiated that challenge, that you have never done a power start in your life, because there's the chances are you may have. So if you've ever done a power start, seeing 30 faces in 30 days, I want you to drop that in the chat too. Okay. So if you're new around here and you're like, what is she talking about? What is a power start? I have never heard of this. What does that mean? I remember being brand new in Mary Kay, and they talked a lot about power starts because, I joined Mary Kay back in 2017. So this is pre-COVID. Like, we only worked our business in person. I want y'all to know that. Like, I worked my business pre-COVID, which was only in person. Then COVID happened. We went just virtual. And then now we're kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of in person, a little bit of virtual. So like, I'm like old school Mary Kay in that the only way we could work our business was face to face, knee to knee, like in person. Okay. So they would talk about power starts at every weekly meeting. And we did our meetings in person. We did not have Zoom meetings also. So I would show up to my little meeting. A lot of times I was wearing scrubs because I came from my lab, and that's just how it had to be. And I remember these girls talking about these power starts, and I was like, what is this power start? And so I asked, I was like, what's the power start? Like, tell me more about this. And so, they explained it to me of, hey, a power start is when you see 30 faces in 30 days. And what that means is when you are seeing a face, you're booking them for an appointment. You are walking them through the products on their face. You are going through the set sheets with them. You are sharing the opportunity with them. You're getting referrals from them, all that stuff that you're taught, right? It's not just cutting corners to say we did it. Okay. So it was a true blue power start. So with that being said, doing a power start lines up with knowing your averages, right? Okay. So if you've ever done a power start, I hope that you were tracking your faces as you went. I hope you were tracking the sales and all of that. And I want to say that Lexi, I could be wrong, so correct me, Jenna. I want to say that Lexi just finished her power start. Um, and that, okay, so I've got that right. Lexi just finished her power start and she had a beautiful tracking sheet. Jenna shared it with me and my heart like swelled. So shout out to you, Lexi, because that was amazing. And you guys, it's so simple. She was tracking the faces she was seeing. She was tracking how much she was selling at each appointment. She was tracking how many referrals. Did she share the opportunity? If so, where did they rate themselves? Like literally so simple, but so powerful because that was her first ever power start. So now she knows her averages. Lexi could tell you, okay, based on my 30 faces I saw, this is how much each face purchased. If you take 30 faces and her 4,100 retail, you could do the math to figure out how much each face yielded in sales. Okay. Obviously, that's in a perfect world. So that's understanding averages. Averages are average, they're not every single time. Okay. But I just wanted to shout Lexi out for that because I know she just finished her power start and she just did this. So, Lexi, I would even challenge you to take it a step further if you haven't done this already, looking at your tracking sheet and being like, okay, so from my sales, if I take that 4,100, divide that out by 30 faces, what is my face average? And then also looking at your booking attempts that you did leading up to your 30 faces, how many booking attempts did it take you to get 30 booked? And then same thing with recruiting. How many recruits did I yield? And how can I either sharpen that skill a little bit more, tighten things up, and move forward? So it's amazing. Seriously, amazing. So that is the power in tracking and the power of a power start. So I want to tell you guys that seeing 30 faces in a month, it's a challenge, right? Like it's not that it's super easy peasy, but if you're smart and strategic, you don't have to do these faces one by one by one. Actually, I would encourage you don't do one by one by one. That's painful. That's painful. Don't do that to yourself. But what you can do is, let's say you do have a one-on-one booked, you can encourage her to bring friends with her, right? And turn that into a party. And she didn't even know it was a party, but you made it a party because you're a daggone good booker. And people want to book with you because you have some amazing skills, you have an amazing personality, and people are drawn to you. So I'm speaking that over each of you. But seeing 30 faces in 30 days is a challenge. It's a stretch, right? Like, and that's what it's meant to do is to challenge you, to stretch you, to grow you. Okay. And that's a good thing because what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to refine and sharpen those skill sets. If I were to ask Lexi right now, Lexi, how do you feel coming out? And you don't have to answer this unless you want to, Lexi. But if I were to ask her, Lexi, coming out of doing your power start, how do you feel when it comes to, selling the products, when it comes to going over the set sheets? How do you feel when it comes to getting referrals at your appointments? How do you feel when it comes to sharing the opportunity at your appointments? She could probably go through and tell me, okay, like here, when I first started, this is how I felt. And then by the end of it, this is how I feel because throughout that process, she was learning so much along the way. And if you've ever done a power start, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about because action builds confidence. And so through the action of seeing the faces, that is helping you sharpen those skill sets and to gain confidence in what you're doing. Okay. Plus, that's going to allow you to get that control of understanding your averages, right? Because with each face and with each sale and with each recruit and with each booking and all of that, that's adding to your stats that you can work with. So then, for the next month, you're like, okay, if I want to do a power start, then I know I need to reach out to X amount of people. Okay. Yes, I'm sure she was nervous in the beginning, but I know that she's gained so much confidence and she's taken promotions and she's done all kinds of things on the other side of it, which is so exciting. And that's the point that we want to drive home. So again, numbers don't lie. You will find out if you haven't already that Mary Kay is not magical, it's mathematical. Okay. So I'm going to share with you guys just a couple of like my stats, my averages, and just like some tangible things. But again, your stats might be a little bit different. You may be a better booker than I. You may be able to get the yeses better than I, and that's okay. But I want to show you guys just like a little quick example of like my booking attempts. So listen, it doesn't have to be fancy. I'm a tracking queen, but it doesn't have to be fancy. I literally, this is my like Mary Kay notebook. So you'll see me take this to events. With on meetings, I have this with me. This is where all my things go. So over here I have my booking attempts, and I personally do 10 booking attempts a day. Okay. That just works for me. I'm one of those girls, I like a bite-sized goal, just works for me. So I do 10 booking attempts a day. Not only do I do 10 booking attempts a day because it's a bite-sized goal, but because I know I'll get at least one booking from those 10 because my booking stat is 1 out of 10. So what that means is that if I send out 10 booking messages, I'm going to get a new booking from one of those people, at least one of those people. So as you can see here, I highlighted her pink because guess what? She booked with me. She said yes. We held her appointment. So I got one new booking from sitting down doing 10 booking attempts. Okay. So that's why understanding your averages is important. Now, I didn't just come up with this out of thin air. This has been years of refining that skill and tracking that and all of that. But see, now I know, okay, if I do 10 booking attempts a day, by the end of the week, I'm going to have 7 new bookings because there's 7 days in a week. And I'm going to reach out to 70 people and I'm going to have 7 new bookings. So what that means to me is if I want to ramp it up and be like, okay, I want to do like a booking blitz and I want to sit down and get 5 booked right now. That means, okay, Sabra, that's cool. You can do that, but that means you're going to need to reach out to 50 people right now. So get to work. So that allows me to gauge my level of activity to support my goals. Okay. Because on the flip side of that, if I were to sit here and tell you back to my example earlier of, oh, I want to do a power start in the month of December, but I've only done 5 booking attempts. Well, sister friend, those don't add up. The math is not mathing. So that's when you could take a look and be like, all right, well, if that's the case, I need to crank up the level of activity to support that goal. Does that make sense? Because and this might sound so basic to some of you more seasoned consultants, but this is a principle that you can apply to other levels and areas of your business. Okay. As you continue to grow your team, as you continue to grow your customer base, this basic skill set is going to help propel you forward. Okay. And not to mention, it's going to help you teach this and train this to your future team members. So that was just one little easy peasy way that I wanted to give you guys an example. Okay. Um, Something else that I know about me is that if I'm going to see 30 faces in a month, I'm going to have about 5 to 6 new recruits from those 30 faces. Okay. So if you are on here and you're like, I want to be a red jacket in the month of December, like I want to be at this red jacket outing on the 29th. So I have now until then to get my booty into red with 3 active team members. Then that means you got to know how many people to be in front of, right? Like you got to know, okay, if I know for myself personally that I can recruit out of 30 people, 5 to 6 of them will join. Okay, and let's go. Let's track it. So all of that being said, that just allows you to have that control that allows you to apply it to other areas of your business. And it's a training skill that you're going to get to pass on to your team members in the future. Because again, team building is a great part of this business that I view as part of the business, not as an opt in, opt out kind of thing. Okay. So, oh, I did want to share this with you guys too. This was like a fun little quote mindset thing that I was like, I stumbled across today and I was like, this is good. Um, it says, every face is progress, whether it's a yes, no, or not now. So every face is progress, whether it's a yes, a no, or a not right now, because you're moving the needle, you're taking action, you're building confidence. And guess what? You're going to continue one foot in front of the other, one booking attempt after another, one appointment after another, one recruit after another. Okay. So, um, just to recap before I share some of my little tracking things, knowing your averages is going to empower you, right? Because you're going to understand and know these numbers. And it's going to allow you to really harness and master your business to where you're working smarter and not harder. Instead of like spinning your wheels and chasing your tail, you're going to know, okay, if I want to make $300 this week, this is how many faces I need to be in front of. Or, okay, I know I want to take a promotion to Red Jacket this month. This is how many faces I need to be in front of, and sharing the opportunity and working it full circle. Okay. Consistency is key. And Jamie Taylor says all the time that consistency is sexy. And consistency is one of those things that's going to build your business for years and years to come. Okay. So start doing the little things add up to the big things. So start taking your baby steps now of tracking each face you see, tracking how many booking attempts you're doing, writing down the names, highlighting them. Do whatever works for your brain and whatever brings you joy, because for me, it's a highlighter on a page that triggers all kinds of happy emotions for me that I'm like, I feel on top of the world. You can't tell me nothing because I got a new booking. And I'm a dang good booker and people want to book with me. Okay. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. Make it fun. So I do want to encourage you guys to use a tracking method of some sort, and I'll share some things in our Legends Facebook group for y'all too. But I did want to share with you guys my little spreadsheet. It's not fancy, but it works for me. Okay. So if you are a spreadsheet girly and you're super savvy with this, you could probably take this and make it really, really pretty. But honestly, y'all, it does a job for me. So I wanted to share this with you guys just so you could see the things that I'm tracking, and maybe it encourages you to create your own sales tracker. Maybe it encourages you to just print out a tracker that I share on our Facebook group or whatever. But I hope that this encourages you to take action on tracking, okay? Because I want y'all to know and understand your averages, because I don't want y'all just out here doing power starts for the sake of doing power starts, right? Like, yeah, I know you want to be a good beauty consultant. I know you want to provide your customers with excellence, right? But don't just be doing it just to be doing it. Like, be intentional, be smart. You're smart businesswomen. So work it smart. And this is going to take you, oh my goodness, for years and years to come. So I'm going to share my little screen just to give you guys an idea of like what my little tracking sheet looks like. Again, not fancy. This is mine for 2024. All right. So every month I have a tab at the bottom and it just allows me to quickly recall stuff. And I basically have it split up by the week. Okay. And I put the customer's name, how much retail, my profit, because sometimes they have birthday coupons that I offer them, or they may use the 50% off coupon or whatever. So I may not be making 50% profit fully in that case. And then just other little notes, like I track my items sold because that's important. That's powerful. And then I also, this is like my retail for the week, profit for the week. And then I track my faces. And then this has my retail total, profit, total faces, new customers, returning customers, how many customers purchased from me, how many referrals did I get, and how many items did I sell. Okay. I know it might be really detailed. You might be like, Sabre, that's just way too much. Start somewhere. Okay. Start somewhere. You can always add in the extra things. But I'm going to tell you, you're never going to feel bad when you know the details that you know about your business. It's going to empower you. It's going to give you a track to run on, and you're not going to be able to deny the numbers. Okay. You're not going to be able to deny the numbers. So make your own little spreadsheet. Literally get out a notebook and track it there. It doesn't have to be fancy, but I want y'all to track it. I personally like to use a spreadsheet because it's in my Google account. So I have this for years and years to come. So I can go back at 2024 version of me and see the growth in 2025 version of me, 2026. You see what I'm saying? Because as I continue with my business, it's only going to grow. I'm going to get more customers. I'm going to increase my skill set. I'm going to increase the amount of products I'm selling, etc. So this is going to also be a fun, it's almost like a diary in that you can look back and be like, oh my gosh, look at this. This was when I did my very first power start. This was in 2024. I was a brand new beauty consultant, and look at the faces I saw. Look at what my retail sales were like, comparing your results then versus now, because your averages might change as you continue to sharpen your skill set. Okay, so that's why tracking matters. That's why it's important. Um, that's why we're even talking about this. Okay, but I try not to throw too many numbers at y'all because I don't want you to glaze over. And if you're not a numbers girl, it's okay, but I want you to not be afraid of numbers, and I want you to face the data, because when you face the data, there's power in that. Because I think a lot of times it's easy for us as women to bury our head in the sand when things don't go the way we want them to go. And we can get really in our feelings about it and really emotional about it because this is our business, this is our baby. But I want you guys to know that you have a lot of control over this, okay? And at the end of the day, if you're not where you want to be, then get in there, roll up your sleeves, and take a look and do the work and do the booking attempts and see the faces, because you are in control of your business. This is like the one area of your life where you can truly control a lot. Okay. You can really control a lot. So, with that being said, I would love to open it up for questions anyone may have as it relates to averages, working full circle, power starts, tracking, anything. Yay, Andy. I'm glad to hear that. Jenna, you are literally question queen. I'm surprised you don't have one ready out the gate for me. Do you guys like, I know this is a lot coming at you. Are you digesting the information? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Track the stuff, understand it, like start doing your booking attempts, writing them down. Like, don't just do booking attempts willy nilly and not know who you're reaching out to. Like, keep up with that. Okay, Crystal, yay. I'm so glad. You're welcome, Heather, yay. And if you guys have, if you're like working on your little tracking and you have questions about anything that come up, reach out to your director, for sure. She'd be more than happy to help you. But like I said, I'll drop some stuff in the Facebook group for y'all. But just keep it simple, but track.
Yeah, thank you so much, Saber. I know I'm not a numbers girl, and I hate the word tracking, but I will say that gonna be some hair sticking out there. So, but I will say that it's so true. Okay, and I, even though a lot of people, a lot of consultants may look at me and say, well, she's a director, so she's good at all this. Well, no, I'm not. We, like you said, we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, and this was not one of my strengths. So it's very helpful to me to listen to you, give these very simple instructions. And I know you said you feel like you've thrown out a lot, but really it was very simple. I know, Cassandra mentioned that she was new and all this was awesome. She is one of she's Emily's new teammate, and we're having her debut. She hasn't even had her first debut, her debut party yet. We're having it Saturday, but she's already qualified. So how's that? Amazing. So, and I literally texted her while we were on here and said, she's basically giving you our next conversation after your debut party, so this just, you are always so just on target, and I always love listening to you, trying to listen to you talk, and you did make it very simple and very encouraging, and I just want to thank you for that, and I will be making me a little spreadsheet for 2025. So this is something that I'm going to get better at for sure.
I love it, Stacy. Thank you so much for that affirmation. And I'm excited that you're going to make your own tracking sheet for 2025. And that's the point I want to drive home, y'all. Like, if you're on here and you're like, oh my gosh, Saber, I have not been doing this, don't beat yourself up. Like, it's okay. It's
No,
okay.
just start now.
Take a deep breath and be like, okay, I may not have been on my game tracking up until this point, but guess what? I can be better starting today, starting right now, because it's okay. It's a-okay.
It's killing Jenna that she doesn't have a question.
my mind is blown.
Well,
I'm
she
not
just
gonna
says, I
lie.
literally still don't have a question.
Thanks, Andy. I'm glad that it works well for you. That's great. Thank you. The first time I sold, I didn't have a lot of support. This time I have tons of support, but I've not sold anything. Everyone is like, awesome. I love Mary Kay, but I can't get a booking or they don't show. What do I do? Well, sister friend, I don't know who this is from, but what I would tell you is if I was mentoring you, I would say, okay, so where's your tracking sheet for your booking attempts? Where's your list? And for me,
Uh,
I would just refer to my notebook and I would say, here's who I reached out to today. And if you told me, oh, well, I reached out to two people on Facebook, then I would say, okay, so it sounds to me like you just haven't casted your net wide enough. Okay. Because remember, I was sharing with you guys my booking stat is 1 out of every 10. So if you want one singular booking, at least when it comes to my booking stat, I would at least need to reach out to 10 people. Okay. So if I was mentoring you and coaching you, that's what I would start with is looking at, okay, so who have you reached out to? And if you have your little list, great. Then I would take a look at, okay, so let's take a look and see what it is you're saying to these people. Let's just kind of see. Maybe it's something we need to tweak or adjust. But a lot of times, guys, it's just simply the fact that you're not casting your net wide enough, meaning you're not reaching out to enough people. Okay. So reaching out to 5 people is not enough. And that's me saying it with love and being totally honest with y'all because I'm going to shoot straight with y'all every single time. Yeah, exactly, Jenna. It has nothing to do with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's simply the numbers game. Like I was telling y'all, it's mathematical.
I have to agree with what Brittany said that she loves hearing everyone's personal stories and growth. It helps me make all the more realistic to myself. It's true. I mean, you look at these people and you'll see, when if you have or if you when you do meet Jamie or you meet Sabra and Darian and Taylor and everybody who you look at and you think, oh my gosh, they're so successful, they do everything right. We're all human. We all have to learn, and you just have to start, and you can't do it all at once. You have to take one task and you have to conquer that, and you have to don't overthink it. Just get one task that and get that under your belt, and then move forward and then conquer another one. So that's something that's really hard for me because I'm just like out here trying to do too many things sometimes. And it's like, okay, wait, bring it in. Okay, what do I need to concentrate on? And just like you said, when we say, well, where's your booking attempts? And somebody's like, well, I called 2 people. We're not being mean when we say, well, you probably need to, like you said, you probably just need to ask more people. And, sometimes I have to tell myself that. It's like I've not done that work to get the results I want. So, like she said, we're all it's realistic for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. So if you were the person that had that question, I hope that helps you to at least have a starting point of like, okay, so I need to look and see who I reached out to. And when did I reach out to them? Also, like if you reached out to them 6 months ago, well,
Do it again.
it's a little stale. It's a little stale. But that's the good news is like you do have the support and you have the leaders here. Like we are very hands-on, as you can see from all these directors. There we show up for y'all each and every week. We're here to help you, to support you. So with that being said, like reach out to your director. Yeah, go
Jenna
ahead,
says
Jenna.
she wants to share something.
I'm not gonna turn my camera on because I look like a hot mess, but I just want to share. I made a comment that whenever Saber talks about like tracking your data, this is something I never want to do. Face the data is what she says, and I
Yeah.
was so like unwilling to do it, and I really didn't know why, and I was like, what is my problem? So like this time last year, I'm just gonna be really honest with you guys. I was not in a place where I wanted to be, and it's not that I didn't know what to do. It's not that I didn't have the resources or the knowledge or the sister sales directors or a senior to like point me in that direction. I just was honestly not willing to get uncomfortable and do the work that it took, but I didn't face the data it took to realize that. And then we went to leadership last year, and basically, like, it again, it's all numbers. So Jamie gave us these Skittles, and the Skittles represented our unit, right? And so I was like one of the first to get my bag of Skittles because mine only had like 26 in it. And I remember being so upset because some of these people had like Taylor had like over 100 Skittles, and I was like, I want over 100 Skittles. Like, oh my gosh. And that might seem so silly to you guys, but I literally just remember sitting there and like I wanted to cry. And I realized I haven't been doing the work to build my unit. That's why I'm not having the results that I want. And so that was January last year. And then, I mean, again, not in a place where I want to be, didn't earn any of my new director bonuses, left thousands of dollars on the table. Silly. But what I will say is by March, I wrapped up Fab 50s and then my last new director bonus. And then, um, by June, I earned the Chevy Trax and then had an offspring sales director. So it took that like little bit of like gut feeling and like, ouch, that hurts. But like realizing, okay, that's what I need to do, but seriously, tracking is so important. So, Saber, I'm so glad that we have you to preach to us about that because it makes such a difference.
Jenna, wow. I'm like, that was all you, boo. That was all you. And I'm so proud of you. And I think it's very encouraging for all of us here to hear that. Yeah, you're an absolute rock star. So thank you for sharing
She still has her bag of Skittles.
that. Motivation.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, it is 9:01. So thank you guys so much for being on this week. I enjoyed our conversation together, and I hope that this blesses you in your business. And the best compliment you could ever give anyone who trains you in Mary Kay is to go and apply the things that they train you on. So I'm excited to see everyone's little tracking sheets and y'all just setting yourself up for success going into the new year. But we will see you guys and have a great week. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Sabra.